Alright, here we go. So, finally got OBS to work. I don't know, I literally was just about to finish my video and go on to the Munich Agreement to show you guys, but I guess here we go. Let's do it again. So, I assume all of you guys have heard the news of Russia and Ukraine, and if you haven't, then wow, I don't know. But if you guys are wondering, in my opinion, this is just like the Crimea crisis that happened, what was it, 7 years ago? 8 years ago? And I feel like there's going to be a similar outcome here. And there's a lot of people who are going around, especially the neocons in the media, and people like Alex Jonestein pushing that there's gonna be a nuclear war. Oh, we're gonna have a nuclear war here, guys. This is gonna be, everything's gonna die. Everybody's gonna die. When at the end of the day, the people who control Russia are one of the large groups in the world that control the United States as well. Now let me explain that. Let me quantify that for you. It's just like any other gangster, criminal type cabal, right? Even though they may work together in some circumstances, they really don't want to work together, and they don't want to have, one person control this area, another person control this area. Eventually they're going to fight each other, right? That's how the gangsters work. That's how it worked in the United States in the 1950s, 60s. I mean, if you know any of the history of these people, the Irish mob, the Jewish mob, the Italian mob, they all worked together. But at the end of the day, they were enemies. They were blood enemies of each other. And one of the criminal cabal groups that has always been pushing for control of the United States, sometimes they get it, sometimes they don't, that criminal group is in control of Russia. And they've been in control of Russia for quite a while now. And somebody who you can look up, who's done excellent research on this, is Brendan O'Connell. Now, I know Brendan and I have had our differences. If you were subscribed to my old channel, you know that I made a couple videos on Brendan. He made a couple comments on my videos, and I responded to them. So, I wouldn't say like I'm an enemy of Brendan. I've always said, too, and I even went on his videos and I said, hey, man, I just want to clear this up. I love your research. I just don't agree with your conclusions on a lot of things. So I don't understand what's so bad about that. And, he would call me a retard, and he would say that I'm call me all these names, and it's like, whatever, I get it. He's doing his own thing, okay? Not obviously everything he says is going to be true, but he's done a lot of great research in this. So if you guys are wondering who controls Russia, look up Brendan O'Connell and look up his videos on him. But anyway, I just want to ask you guys, please leave some comments in the comment section if you guys have any intel into what's going on. I usually always like to see the dust settle first, because when you don't let the dust settle, you're just relying on mostly propaganda. Even if the propaganda is true or it's not, you don't really have a good sort of ambivalent take on anything, because there is so much propaganda. It's really hard to sift through it. So if you guys have any sources or any information that isn't being published in the media, please let me know. Post it in the comment section. I'll like and even pin it if it's really good, obviously. So yeah, I guess we're just going to have to see what happens there. But like I said, I feel like it's going to be like the Crimean crisis. It's going to be a lot of bluff back and forth. A lot of sides are going to want to get more money put into their military. I mean, both countries spend an enormous amount of money on the military. Obviously, the United States spends way more money. And people are like, what do you mean countries? Well, this is obviously a NATO versus Russia type situation. So, and if you're wondering who controls NATO, it's the United States. So yeah, if you guys got any intel on that, just post in the comments. So yeah, but I wanted to bring this up real fast. So, isn't it weird how people like the Daily Mail right here? Let me exit this out. The Daily Mail published an article about how, oops, let me get the right browser up. See, look at that. I can't even function in OBS. Moron. But the Daily Mail is publishing propaganda about how this is exactly like Germany taking over the Sudetenland in the 1938. You know, it's just, oh, it's so horrible. I mean, he's doing exactly. See, this is how dumb the average person is, and how historically illiterate they are. How many people actually know the circumstances behind that, behind the Munich Agreement? Not that many, right? Especially, it's insane to know that a lot of Americans know more about World War II history than people who are actually involved in it. And I don't even know if it's any fault of their own, people in like Germany or people in the UK or even France, because they've been bombarded with such high-level propaganda throughout their whole lives that I don't even think they realize it. But let's just give some context to this, right? So 1938. This is after World War I. This is obviously after Hitler was already Chancellor in 1933. And this is after he had consolidated the Chancellery and the presidency, and he become, Führer. So, but what people don't realize is after World War I, the Treaty of Versailles completely decimated the ethnic lines in Europe. Meaning that countries were divided, new countries were created, certain countries like Poland were expanded beyond reasonable belief. Like, it's just insane how much territory Poland got when they did pretty much nothing. Russia had a lot of its territory taken away, etc., etc. So a lot of countries were feeling like they had gotten beat up for no reason, felt like there was an unjustified, redrawing of borders in Europe. So a lot of countries wanted territories back. A lot of countries felt like, hey, this part over here should belong to us. I mean, everybody speaks our language. Everybody looks like us. Why is this part of, Czechoslovakia or whatever it may be? Well, that's because of the Treaty of Versailles. That's because of us imposing these borders on Europe. And most people don't realize this, but the Munich Agreement wasn't just about Germany. There were other countries who wanted to dissolve Czechoslovakia. In fact, Poland and Romania both took large portions of Czechoslovakia when the Germans dissolved it. Go figure. And if you don't believe me, here, I'll bring it up real fast for you. I know, source of truth and knowledge, right? Wikipedia, here we go. But at least, a broken clock is right twice a day, right? So, right here. Germany had started a low-intensity, undeclared war on Czechoslovakia on September 17, 1938. In reaction, the United Kingdom and France on September 20th formally asked Czechoslovakia to cede its territory to Germany, which was followed by Polish territorial demands brought the day after on September 21st, and Hungary on September 22nd. Meanwhile, German forces conquered parts of Chib district and Jesenic district and briefly overran but were repelled from dozens of other border countries. Poland also grouped its army units near its common border with Czechoslovakia and also instigated generally unsuccessful sabotage on September 23rd. Hungary also moved its troops towards the border with Czechoslovakia without attacking. What actually happened was when the Munich Agreement happened, Poland got territory. Hungary got territory. Germany got territory. But you only hear about those big bad evil Germans, right? It's like I always say, and this just holds true to most things. Whenever somebody wages war, it seems like the person who wages war the best and the most efficient and kills the most people is seen as evil, but yet the other people who are waging war, who, if they had the technology that Western powers had, or certain countries had, or the military force that they had, they would not only do the exact same thing, they'd probably do worse. But because these countries can't do it, because they don't have a military, because they don't have technology, they're always seen as these little innocent scapegoats and just, oh, Poland's bouncing around during this time. Oh no, we're so innocent, we didn't do anything. How many people know that the Poles tried to take over part of Russia before World War II? Does anybody? See, it's this historical ignorance and the propaganda that makes us believe what we do today. It's astonishing. So I think I'll end it there. Like I said, I want the dust to seriously settle in this. There's already people who are going around saying, "Oh, there's gonna be a nuclear war," and I just say that's ridiculous. That if put it this way, if Putin starts a nuclear war over something so stupid as a little bit of territory in Ukraine, then the Russian people better get him out and execute him in the streets. Because that's disgusting. That's horrible. And at the end of the day, Russia's economy is collapsing. With the sanctions that we put on them, they are collapsing hard. So to me, like I said, I haven't let the dust settle, so I could be totally wrong. This seems like just sort of a diversion to get the Russian people away from what's going on internally. And the fact that Putin, his administration, is slowly collapsing, and that they're economically collapsing, and he wants to sort of get the eye away from it. It's sort of like when George Bush invaded Afghanistan and Iraq, right, after 9/11. People tend to forget that, that we were in a serious financial crisis at that point. We were. We were in a horrible financial crisis. This is right after the dot-com bubble burst in the late 1999. So, I don't know. Like I said, I could be totally wrong. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm right. So, if you guys got any inside information or any intelligence, please let me know in the comments. I appreciate you guys. Take it easy. And I guess this was just your daily dose of real history. So, see you guys next time.